Jays host the Friars. Tip coming up in seconds. Further call out to Omaha. Great segment, guys. Lisa Byington and Nick Bob.
Rob.
Rob, one of the toughest places to play in the Big East, CHI Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska. We've got the Providence Friars up against the Creighton Blue Jays. Thank you on a big day here on the Fox Networks. Nick Bob, Lisa Byington with you. Well, as we heard the studio guys talk about, just when we felt like we knew what this matchup was about, the perhaps absence of Marcus Zegarowski changes the complexion of this game.
Absolutely, and you got the obvious reasons. He leads the team in scoring and assists, but for a team that wants to play with pace, Zegarowski's the guy with the ball in his hands. He sets the tone in that regard, and Providence switches defenses a lot. You need a veteran guy that can identify and get the offense into whatever looks they need. So it'll be interesting to see how Creighton lives without Zegarowski here for this afternoon.
And to clarify, we don't know if Zegarowski is out for the game. In fact, just moments ago, he walked over to the bench during the starting lineup. Speaking of the Jeep Grand Cherokee starting lineups, it'll be Denzel Mahoney who will start in place right now for Zegarowski.
And Mahoney could be important because he's a guy that can operate in the middle of the zone, the heart of it, right at that free throw line if Providence implores some of their 2-3 zone.
And you see Zegarowski sitting on the bench. He did not warm up. Now, to clarify, I was at practice yesterday, and he was fine. I actually even talked to him for a good 15 minutes or so, and he was fine. You saw him at shoot-around and went through shoot-around just fine.
He looked like he was just fine just a couple hours ago, about 4 hours ago. So whatever sort of illness came on quick. Be interesting to see if maybe he gets some fluids in him, he starts to feel better. But certainly a significant storyline here for this game.
We'll see how Providence reacts to this. Again, they changed their starting lineup as well, which we didn't have time to address yet. Nate Watson getting his first start here this year. The first shot taken by Duke, and there is Watson making an immediate impact.
That's the game. Providence, not a very good shooting team, but sometimes their best offense is a missed shot to get an offensive rebound putback. Certainly huge for Creighton to rebound defensively.
If you watch the Creighton-Xavier game, this will be kind of a reset and a replay of that kind of pursuit for both of these teams. And there's a first shot and a good sign for Denzel Mahoney. Creighton needs more of that from him.
Yeah, he's a 40% three-point shooter at Southeast Missouri State. Has not shot it well. Only shooting 27%, but a guy that is really capable. Good sign to see Mahoney get on the board early.
It's his birthday today, by the way. He turns 22 years old, takes his first shot. He set a career high on his birthday a couple of years ago, and maybe that's a sign he's got more big things coming this year.
And this is where Ed Cooley told us, got to get sorted out in transition and build out to the three-point line.
Tyshawn Alexander from the corner. They work it around to Jefferson.
You know, the other thing, Lisa, as you see a turnover with Zegarowski out, this is a lineup you don't see a lot with Mahoney, Jefferson, and Bishop on the floor. So a lot of Creighton's set plays get a little bit disjointed as well.
Questionable today. Third leading scorer in the Big East. Leads the team in scoring here for Creighton. How comfortable is Alexander or a Ballack in running the point and running this offense for Creighton?
Well, Tyshawn Alexander has run the point at times earlier in his career, so it's in their arsenal to be able to do so, but nevertheless, they've gotten used to life with Zegarowski.
Duke's taking a couple shots. That's his first make and his first three-point attempt, and on the transition, that's the way Creighton wants to play.
Well, even off of a made basket, Providence has to sprint back. No home run trots or anything like that. You got to get organized immediately.
That's a great point. Christian Bishop, all 6'7" of him, got down the court as they yanked it out of the net and got down for a quick two. Luan Pipkins, he's the grad transfer for Providence. Watson gets it swatted away. Providence will keep it with 6 on the shot clock. Greg McDermott, as you saw the studio guys touching upon the pregame ceremony, picked up win number 500, but has been sitting on there since he did it against Xavier. But 5 different head coaching stops to get to that number. Started out his career at the Division II level. Another follow and put back there for Khalif Young, who today is coming off the bench.
And that, again, Providence, they're going to be sending multiple guys to the offensive glass. And that's one way to slow Creighton down in transition, is to make them have to block out every time. But you better believe the Friars are coming.
We asked Ed Cooley, actually, if he would send more guys back because of the transition concerns there for Creighton. And he said, oh, no. we're sending all guys, but we're sending all guys to the offensive glass here today, like we always do.
And just like that, Lisa, Mr. Zegarowski has checked in. So we'll see, what his win looks like, what the conditioning looks like, how he's feeling.
The crowd gave a nice little cheer. They didn't really know what or how to react when they announced Denzel Mahoney in the starting lineup, much like we did when we saw him in the starting lineup. We thought it was an error. Trying to go Bishop's way. We got a foul there on the floor on Khalif Young. That's number 2 on Young.
It's a huge part of Creighton's game, Lisa, that pick roll flip up to the rim. A little bit of an errant lob, as if this is further to the opposite side of the rim. Bishop flushes that, but then that's what Providence wants to do today. They want to beat Creighton up physically. Any 50-50 loose ball, you're going to feel the Friars.
Again, these are two teams that kind of have something to prove here. Providence sitting in second place in the Big East with a 4-1 record. Creighton started the week as a top 25 ranked opponent, at least in the AP poll, until they dropped one to Georgetown. You got to wonder how the voters will react to them, even if they pick up a win here tonight.
It's certainly motivation high for different reasons for both clubs, but it's interesting. I asked Ed Cooley, what's been the difference? He had a slow start in the non-con to the 4-1 start in conference play, and he said mindset. He said it's the same guys. You're just thinking about the right things. Certainly been really good in close games, which always helps.
Here's Pipkins with a three-point look, and he hits his first three-point attempt. They like to get more out of him. He's the grad transfer who can provide more. Speaking of that, Ballack misses everything. It's not that often that you see him miss that poorly.
Well, Mitch Ballack's been given a talking to from his coaching staff about never turning down any open shot. And Greg McDermott said outside of an uncontested layup, a three-pointer for Ballack might be the best shot in the offense for the Blue Jays. So he's going to be aggressive.
And from that distance, that would be a poor shot attempt for most people.
Not for him.
Not Mitch Ballack. Pipkins, a deep attempt, trying to go back-to-back. There's the offensive rebound for Watson. They'll pick up about 13 of those per game. They're so good on the glass.
We talk about the identity of Creighton, threes and playing fast. The identity of Providence is rough, tough, physical, hard-rocking dudes that beat you up in the paint, own the glass. And certainly you got a handful of bigs, Watson, Holt, Khalif Young, who can really put their fingerprints on the game, getting second chance opportunities.
Watson misses at the free throw line, not exactly his strength, but generating some offense inside the paint is one of the reasons why he's getting his first start this year. 29 career starts coming into this game. He started about 20 times last season for Providence.
Yeah, Watson is Providence's most talented post scorer in terms of being able to play with his back to the basket, score in a variety of ways. And this is what Providence will do. They'll throw some three-quarter court pressure just to slow the Blue Jays down. Oftentimes they'll fall back into a 2-3 zone.
Ballack will try it from the right side. That's a different result.
Make one mistake, just a little tardy on getting matched up out of the pressure, and Ballack buries it.
Only attempted about 7 shots that last game against Georgetown, and you mentioned it, the coaching staff wants him to put it up here tonight. As Alexander draws the foul, he'll get a trip to the free throw line.
Well, Lisa, both teams shooting the ball pretty good from distance. You look at David Duke getting one to go down from beyond the arc, and then a little three-quarter court pressure leads to an open Ballack, and that's usually...
Big East Hoops on FS1 is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. See all that snow and the ice cause all kinds of problems across the Midwest, Omaha included. Providence with a 3-point advantage over the Creighton Blue Jays. So you talk about this start for the Providence Friars. Really the first 13 games, there wasn't a whole lot of consistency. They had some head-scratching losses to Penn, to Long Beach State, to the College of Charleston. But it's been a different story for them come conference time.
Well, I think that's one of the good things about being able to break up non-conference to conference is you get to kind of wipe the slate clean if things haven't gone well. And it's almost like a new season within the season And you know that's a guy that's going to press a lot of the right buttons. But again, in talking to him before the game, Coach Cooley that is, made it sound like there wasn't a lot of schematical changes. It was more about a mindset within that locker room to flip it.
They've now won 5 of their last 6. The only blemish in conference season is to Butler. And really, it was the game against Texas that got things going for Ed Cooley and company. And in talking to him just about that, and the mindset that you're addressing, Nick, is the fact that he's always preached toughness. He didn't always see the toughness. They bought in, for some reason, they bought into that toughness in that game against Texas, and it came right before the holiday break, and then they could feel good about themselves and build off of that win.
Well, the big thing, you said it, feeling good about yourself. So much of this game is about confidence, and really blew the Longhorns out at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and then ever since they've been playing great.
As Gant makes the 3, they walks with it, and so it's a quick turnover there for Creighton. They give it right back. Now, Greg Gant is a player for Providence that Ed Cooley has been trying to kind of work his way into the starting lineup, dealt with all kinds of things. His mother passed away in November, so he left the team for about a week. He's dealt with all kinds of injuries as well, and now things seem to be getting back to normal, quote-unquote normal, for Greg Gant.
Gant's a talented kid, top 100 player, 4-star. It's just a matter of time before he gets comfortable and starts balling here for Ed Cooley.
Malik White coming off the bench. He had a big game against Marquette, nearly had a career high, was 1 point short of that, and Diallo hits a well-contested shot.
How about that, getting doubled in the post and dribbles out of the double team and hits a tough mid-range jumper. Heck of a start here for Providence, really on both ends.
Ed Cooley told us in the pregame that he's pitching to his players. This is a game for second place, and if they win tonight, this is a game when they take on Seton Hall midweek. That's a game for first place. So really, he's trying to tell his players, you're playing for first place today.
They play for the opportunity coming up.
Here's Gant again. How about from the left side? Not that time. And again, Watson trying to make his way in there on the offensive rebound.
We'll see a couple errant passes from Zegarowski, a turnover.
Ballack taking it deep, and he draws the foul. Well, Ballack has certainly been a little bit more aggressive to the plea of the coaching staff here today.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you certainly love to play with, unselfish guys that don't care if they get shots or not. But when you're one of the best shooters in the country, you need that guy to put the foot on the gas to be aggressive. I mean, look at that. You look at, there's a direct correlation between the aggression and the output.
I was watching him shoot after practice yesterday, and he's shooting three-pointer after three-pointer, and he's just a machine.
He's one of those guys, you almost get numb to it because he's such an elite shooter. But this guy is special. Made 11 threes against DePaul last year. This guy's unbelievable.
Even though he shoots with the wrong hand.
It's the only complaint from Lisa Byington.
5-point advantage here for Providence. They've made good off of the turnovers. An 8-2 advantage right now for the Friars.
Yeah, Providence loves this. A little flex offense just to get Creighton to play in tight quarters, to utilize the physicality.
After their points coming off of points off turnovers, and White looked at his hand after that shot and the miss. Zegarowski trying to turn the corner. Zegarowski. Well, the rim doing him no favors, even feeling below 100%.
That's what Providence will do. They're going to contest everything, especially at the rim. Big bodies pushing on you, leaning on you.
Diallo, one dribble. That was Ballack who reached in. Jefferson, Ballack. They got a transition. Cohen can't convert. Jefferson with the tip, can't get it.
Boy, that's, what, 3 or 4 missed shots right at the rim for the Blue Jays. But again, credit Providence for contesting and making things tough.
Pipkins already has a three-point make. Gives it up to Diallo. So good there in the mid-range. Again, Watson with the tip. Duke left all alone for 3, and he hits.
And that's how Providence is going to want to play. Multiple bodies going after offensive rebound opportunities. A lot of that all starts with the mismatch with Diallo and Zegarowski, and is able to drive in and create the scramble rebound situation.
David Duke, 2 for 2 from 3. He's got the best three-point shooting percentage in the Big East this year. They go backdoor to Jefferson for 2. And something that Creighton, you think about them as a three-point shooting team, but that's something that the three-point shot can open up a little bit.
Absolutely. You get so pressed out on the three-point line. Providence denying anything on the wing. Can backdoor and alleviate some of that pressure.
White this time. Tough turn. And we got an offensive foul call there on Providence. It's going to go on Watson. That'll be his second. So you got Khalif Young with 2 on the Providence side, and now Watson with 2. And it'll be Emmett Holt who checks in for the first time. He missed the last game, injured with an ankle.
A huge part of this game is going to be rebounding. And Providence has done a good job of setting the tone of what this game's going to be like. That they're crashing the glass every time. And sometimes establishing that tone right away is important in a game where the glass is going to reign supreme.
Alexander drills the 3. It's the third three-point make here for Creighton.
Ed Cooley's beside himself. You cannot go under a ball screen and give Tyson Alexander any space at all.
They average about 9 makes from back there. They attempt about 25 per game. Ed Cooley was talking to us just about limiting the types of three-point attempts here tonight. They're in trouble. Providence got to call timeout. They got to burn one.
Well, Lisa, you figured the three-point line would be an important part off of an offensive rebound. David Duke knocking it down. And you have to stay attached to Mr. Alexander's body, or he's going to bury triples all afternoon long.
Creighton trying to defend home court. Providence trying to stay second in the Big East. The two tangling here on one of the toughest places to win in the Big East. The Friars and the Blue Jays. A big day on the Fox networks across the Big East here today. We've seen some interesting situations. We'll get into that a little bit later. But a three-point advantage for Providence, and one of the reasons why they have that advantage, they're taking advantage of the points off turnovers.
Something Greg McDermott was concerned about was taking care of the basketball. Providence is a physical team, and that can disjoint your decision-making. But I just think in general, extra possessions, whether that's turnovers or offensive rebounds, going to really be important, and Providence dominating both departments here early.
And out of that timeout, that's not what Ed Cooley wants. He is frustrated. 5-second call.
A lot of that is scouting. Both these teams know each other so well. You understand the sideline, out of bounds situations. You can try and deny some things.
These two head coaches know each other really well, too. Really close friends. Their wives are really close. Their families are close. Ed Cooley said there are 2 guys in the Big East I, in particular, hate coaching against. And one is Greg McDermott, and the other is Kevin Willard of Seton Hall.
But with all that said, for these 40 minutes, they're able to set that friendship aside and try and beat each other's brains in a little bit.
And then they'll go golfing in the offseason and talk about it.
It'd be all good.
McDermott's the better golfer, in case you're wondering. By Ed Cooley's admittance. There's a turnover, this time for Creighton, as Ballack rips it away. Looking to try to hunt down his shot. So good at trying to hunt down something. But it was Diallo making it tough. Bishop, tough shot. That was Holt challenging.
That was Providence's strength in full display, that whole possession.
White taking it in. And a somersault at the end.
I love the confidence and aggression Malik White plays with. When he comes in the game, some guys like to let the game come to him. He goes and gets it and gets himself into a flow.
He's really made the most out of his opportunity, especially in conference season, averaging the second most in conference play on this team. White, a senior, accepting the role of coming off the bench. Pipkins and Duke are the starting on the perimeter for Providence this year, as White misses the 3. I don't know if he stuck the landing on this, but the shot looked pretty good.
It did. Again, he's coming in to score, and he's coming in to be aggressive. And it's always good when you can go to your bench and bring in somebody that changes the complexion of the game, whether it's from energy, defense, And oftentimes it's a good thing when it's scoring the ball, and Malik White can do all of those things.
Triple somersault aerial, I think, was the name of that move.
I doubt that's what he works on, but he looked pretty good doing it.
Gant will give it up. Here is White. Under 10 to play here in the first half. Pipkins will take the shot. He hasn't been shy in this first half. And they'll stay here. He's off Creighton last.
Lisa, twice Damian Jefferson has tried to come in and gang rebound. And I know both times it ends up staying with Providence, but at least you like the mindset. It's got to be all 5 guys thinking about coming in and grabbing a board.
From up top, Diallo can't get it. And again, you got 2 black jerseys there hunting down an offensive rebound, but it's off Holt last.
Well, this is Creighton's small lineup. Denzel Mahoney and Damian Jefferson at the 4 and the 5. So if you're Providence right now, you have to think about dominating the paint, but it puts a lot of stress on you here defensively because of how far they can stretch you out 5 ways.
Yeah, there's mismatches on both ends of the floor.
Yeah,
right?
so which side can take advantage of it? A little bit of zone now from Providence.
They played zone, which Greg McDermott was a little bit concerned about. They didn't handle it very well last year when they played them. Mitchell in trouble, finds Ballack for 3. Tip rims out. Jefferson, his second chance. That's what you're talking about.
You know, to sneak in there. And sometimes being a good rebounder is about strength and physicality, and sometimes it's about athleticism. And Jefferson's the best vertical athlete on Creighton's roster. But now in this end, Lisa, you got to go inside. This ball's got to get pounded into the paint. And when this shot goes up, you got to be multiple black jerseys attacking.
Gant was calling for it. They don't find him right inside the lane that time. Some contact there, no call. It will be Creighton basketball.
Providence substitution is number 13, Khalif Young.
You see multiple guys coming in. This is the kind of game Ed Cooley wants, though. He wanted it to be choppy and ugly and muddy it up. So again, I think while it's pretty even on the scoreboard, I think there are a lot of things about this game that Ed Cooley has to like from a complexion standpoint.
Yeah, you just feel like the tone has been set, tilted towards Providence's side. Zegarowski, his first free attack. He looked sick on that shot. The shot is sick, but he didn't look sick.
That'll make you feel a little better, getting 16,000 people to cheer for you.
Part of a 12-2 run here for Creighton. Blue Jays taking the advantage, and there's a foul going inside that time for the big lineup.
Well, Lisa, when you're feeling under the weather, you can take a nap, you can have some chicken soup, you can have some ibuprofen, or you just hit a little step back 3. Love it.
Creighton has taken the 2-point advantage over Providence. You follow the Blue Jays, you know they go as their 3 guards go. And in terms of those 3 guards, don't really sit out a whole lot. One of 2 teams in the NCAA Division I level with 3 players who are averaging over 34 minutes per game. And when you talk about Marcus Zegarowski, we don't know how long he's going to play here today.
Well, the thing, too, Lisa, is not only are those a lot of minutes, but the way Creighton plays, those are taxing minutes. How fast they want to play offensively, getting up and down the floor. So certainly legs are something always to keep an eye on with those 3 guards.
And outside of Charlie Moore of DePaul, they've got 3 of the top 4 in terms of minutes played in the Big East this year. Those are their season averages in terms of minutes. All of those numbers that you see have actually gone up even in conference play as well. And how much they're playing for Greg McDermott. Marcus Zegarowski even telling me yesterday that those 3 got together. Just the 3 of them, not a team meeting, but just kind of discussing where they need to go as a program coming off of that Georgetown loss. And they said there were 3 things they needed to adjust today. Body language was one. Not looking for excuses was the other. And you might see Creighton huddle up a little bit more to make sure everybody's on the same page here today.
And see, I love that. I mean, you got to be a player-led, player-driven team to ultimately have a ton of success, especially in a conference like the Big East, because the coaches can't solve every problem for you. And so just the fact that those three guards are even thinking like that is great to see.
Here's Mahoney. Gets a couple in the air, didn't take the shot, but somehow found Jefferson.
That's something Greg McDermott's worked a lot on with Denzel Mahoney. Just 2-foot jump stops, shot fakes, and being under control to where you can either draw fouls or make plays passing the ball. Just being on a 2-foot jump stop was able to get an assist.
Well, Jefferson came over and will get whistled for the foul. Well, Mahoney, of course, the transfer out of Southeast Missouri State, got comfortable, had a red shirt last year for Creighton, and is only really in game number 9 here today. How did I hear you compare that? It was like entering a party late or something? And
entering into a conversation.
In? Oh, a conversation.
Yeah, you're at a party and a couple people are talking and you try and jump into the conversation. You know, it gets real disjointed. That's kind of what it's like when you join a team mid-season. And so Mahoney's still finding his rhythm and flow.
You got to bring something to the party. That's what
exactly
you got to bring
right.
to fit in. Here's White with the deep triple attempt. Boy, that had some range on it.
I'm telling you, if you're looking for X factors for Providence from today and beyond, I think Malik White's the guy. I just love the toughness and the energy he brings to the court for Providence.
And who would have guessed this, that Providence has 5 threes to Creighton's 4 as a team. They're out shooting the Blue Jays from back there, beating them at their own game here today. Ballot with 3 to shoot. He's got to put it up. Got fouled. And White got him.
Boy, the discipline for Providence guarding the three-point line has really been inconsistent. Going under a few ball screens in there. Malik White, you got to know better than that. Understanding the shot clock's winding down. I know you are guarding one of the best shooters in the Big East, but you cannot get your hand caught in the cookie jar. The whistle's going to blow. You know, Lisa, you bring up the fact that right now Providence is out shooting Creighton from beyond the arc. That's a delicate thing if you're Ed Cooley, where ultimately how you're going to win this game is in the paint and dominating there. And so already 12 three-point attempts, 12 of the 20 three-point attempts, or of the 20 field goal attempts, excuse me, are threes for Providence. So you got to be careful about falling in love with the long-range jumper.
Well, they're shooting 42% here so far. Their season average is about 33%. But yeah, you're right. You got to be careful with that fool's gold and settling for that shot, even though it's fallen here in the first half.
And again, I'm good with the threes as long as they come with a post touch or a paint touch.
Diallo thought about it, passes it up. To Duke, might have gotten a little push off there, hit the side of the rebound, gets his own miss, and putback is good. No call on that.
Just bully ball. That's a little bit how Providence plays. Just drive into you, shove you around, lean on you for 40 minutes. You got to be ready to fight when you take on Providence.
Now 13-2 advantage in terms of second chance points opportunities here for Providence. So as you had mentioned, they're getting extra possessions on the offensive glass, and they were generating some turnovers early in this game. Alexander off balance, can't get it to fall.
It's a physical game out there. That's something Greg McDermott was interested in, seeing how the game got called from an officiating standpoint. And right now, certainly a physical one.
They've kind of ricocheted into the hands of Camp. Can't make that shot, and Diallo picks up a little chippy.
Diallo and Tyshawn Alexander going at it. They went at it a bunch this summer. Both were on Team USA in the Pan Am games. Got to know each other well as the Big East represented Team USA.
Yeah, a bunch of Big East All-Stars coached by Ed Cooley. He was the head coach. Kevin Willard was the assistant. 4 on the Providence side represented on that team. Tyshawn Alexander, as you mentioned, was the Creighton representative. He makes good on the first free throw. He actually had to travel from Peru, which is where the Pan Am games were played, to LA, and then to Sydney. When Creighton played over at Sydney in the early part of August. I don't know how long of a flight that is, but don't sign me up for it.
Man, rough. I'm exhausted when I go to Chicago and then Indy or something like that. I couldn't imagine that flight plan.
Pipkins taking it inside. and drawing the foul on Zegarowski. We mentioned that team and some Big East All-Stars. They actually won the bronze medal. There you see Coach Cooley. He's got kind of that summertime smile to him right in the middle of the photo.
And so does Kevin Willard, far left. He's got that almost that tan going.
You don't see them frowning like we do during the season. The dump off there to Young. But Diallo, David Duke, A.J. Reeves, who didn't make the trip here today for Providence, and Nate Watson were the Providence representatives on that team. And Mahoney trying to go to work down low. Well represented. One of the youngest teams in that competition, by the way, and they only had really kind of 1 week of practice, but so valuable to kind of go against the guys who you always compete against.
Oh, no doubt.
And now all of a sudden they're your teammates.
Absolutely. And it's fun to get to know those guys, but it's also fun to the practices and getting to see how those guys operate on a day-to-day basis. Extremely valuable.
Checking in for Marcus Zegarowski. It's number 4, Sharif Mitchell.
Zegarowski will get subbed out. He's played about 10 minutes in this first half. Again, if you're just tuning in, he didn't start. We were told he had an illness. He had practiced in practice yesterday. You saw him go through shoot around, and so it's really kind of in between shoot around and the start of this game where that illness kind of happened. But he's played about half the time here in the first half.
Kind of how it goes at times. You got to roll with the punches in conference play. No A.J. Reeves today for Providence. Certainly that's a factor.
Yeah, Reeves in concussion protocol. Suffered it in the second half in that Butler game, and he has yet to play for Providence since. Diallo got tripped up. Alexander went tumbling over into the baseline, and he's still down, but he picks up his second.
Boy, Tyson Alexander went down in a heap. I think he got kneed. His left knee went knee to knee with Alpha Diallo. Watch his left knee. Yeah, he's not one to put any pressure on that at all. Like it was the inside of the knee, right where the trainer Ben McNair's hand's at.
So what a situation for Creighton. We showed you the importance of Zegarowski and Ballack and Alexander, and now 2 of the 3 maybe under 100% here today. One with an illness and maybe one here injured.
And you hope it's just your pain that you're dealing with, not necessarily anything structurally.
Alexander leading Creighton, leading all scorers right now with 9 points. They gingerly attend to him. We'll take a timeout. They're still tending to Tyson Alexander, who is yet to stand up after committing his second foul. It was a hard collision with Alpha Diallo on this play.
And that left knee, Diallo and Tyson Alexander bang knees. It was on the inside part of Alexander's knee. And boy, can hardly put any weight on it.
You see the 9 points. Mentioned that leads all scorers here today. We'll get help to the end of the bench.
Certainly significant, but in the meantime now important minutes for Sharif Mitchell, the freshman, number 4.
Who was challenging Pipkins on that shot. Another offensive rebound here for Providence. Duke, the mid-range jumper, won't fall. And Mitchell on the push. Mitchell out of control and got called for the offensive foul.
Good play from Lawan Pipkins, sprinting back, setting his feet, taking the charge as Sharif Mitchell trying to make a play. This is good defense from Pipkins. Absolutely set. Good call.
It's a freshman going up against a grad transfer, and it was the grad transfer that read that play perfectly. Under 4 to play. Diallo from the baseline, short. And a quick foul there for Gant. That's number 2 on Greg Gant.
The second 19
Well, Greg McDermott showing a little emotion, as it's already been a pretty emotional 16 minutes and change here in Omaha.
Coming your way on the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report, Miles Powell rallied Seton Hall as the Pirates hit uncharted Big East waters. The Butler hype machine has blown a circuit. It could Baylor avoid that top 10 upset bug that's been going around. Lisa, Nick, we'll see you at the half.
Thank you very much. You know, DePaul actually part of that upset bug, getting Butler, not only getting Butler, but getting Butler pretty good here today. 32-30. We've got it here at Omaha, and we saw that Alexander was helped off in that timeout with just a few minutes left here before halftime. They're going to be working on him in the break.
It's good to see that he's at least walking and being able to put some weight on that knee. Been an interesting first half, though, from the standpoint of Zegarowski being sick and didn't start, but then played. Now Tyson Alexander gets banged up. Foul trouble starting to mount a little bit for Providence as well. You know, the free throw line has really been important for the Blue Jays. Creighton has given up 10 offensive rebounds, and Providence is up 13-2 in second chance points, but Creighton's been able to knock down 12 free throws.
Well, 12 of 13 here already for the game. The last 9 points for Creighton actually have come from the free throw line. 3.5 to play before the break. And Mitchell reaching in. That'll be his second. A couple of players on the Creighton side with a couple of fouls. Mitchell is one. We got 4 on the Providence side with a couple of fouls. Remember, this is a Providence team that really only has 8 scholarship players available. Mentioned that A.J. Reeves didn't make the trip, still out with concussion protocol. They got a couple of walk-ons available, too, if they need them.
And what's hard is Providence plays an aggressive style, too, that can be prone to fouling. And so we'll see if Providence, moving forward with this game, can maintain their level of aggression, even though they found themselves in some foul issues.
Duke now in double figures. Creighton ahead by 2.
I think you're going to see a lot of this for the final 3 minutes here. A lot of 2-3 zone.
Mahoney in the middle of that zone. Can't convert. Gets it right back. Ballack with the drive and kick. Mahoney again. Inside the lane. There's a little bit of his strength.
Well, that's something that Creighton really needs. Someone that can operate in the middle of the zone at the high post, and Mahoney's comfortable there. And already Providence giving up a couple offensive rebounds when the Friars have gone to the 2-3 zone.
And they needed that bucket, first bucket since 7:35 left in the first half.
Trying to post up Diallo, but Mahoney's big body doing a good job of battling him.
Short on the 3 attempt for Duke. That's his first miss from back there. Providence now 5 of 15 from 3. And a kick ball will reset the shot clock to 20 seconds.
And right now, Ballack is trying to post up Pipkins when Pipkins is matched up to him. And sometimes I know the size discrepancy would tell you that that's a good thing, but Ballack is not a guy that is good with his back to the basket. So I don't think I like him trying to go in there and posting up.
With Alexander out, do we see a heavy dose of Ballack and a heavy dose of Zegarowski?
Absolutely.
What a heavy dose of Jones. Gets the touch. Can't convert. Duke wants to push. Takes the contact. We'll have a couple coming up.
Is that a good little Euro step, side step from David Duke? I mean, this is really good. Look at this. Sidestep, hits the seam in between Ballack and Jones and is able to get contact. Duke is a much bigger guy in person than he appears on film. Really, really good-looking young player.
One of the key players. And Alexander has made his way back onto the court with 2 minutes just to play. That kind of surprises me. I would think that they would keep him back there.
Well, the big thing is I'm sure that you want to keep him loose. And so sometimes if you sit for too long, it'll tighten up. But I'm with you. I would be surprised if Alexander comes in again in this first half, but we'll see.
Zegarowski nearly lost it. Now with a little man-to-man look here from Providence. They switched defenses up a little bit in the first half. Out to Zegarowski with 6 to shoot. He's got to push it. He does, and fires and hits.
Yeah, he's so good at, stop on a dime and pop up from mid-range. He's just one of those scorers that can score at all 3 levels, at the rim, 15 to 18 foot, and from 3.
Zegarowski, a Massachusetts native, did not want to miss this game. As the answer there for Pipkins. He wasn't recruited by Providence. And wants to show him really kind of what he missed. Show a lot of the Big East schools what they missed. Jump ball. Creighton will keep it.
Jump ball will stay with the Blue Jays.
Creighton's a fairly small team, not overly physical, but that guy right there is pretty physical. Mahoney's got big, broad shoulders. He's got a Big East body. And so he's important. He's been able to guard Alpha Diallo a little bit, battle him in the post. You saw him pull down a couple of rebounds.
Again, had to wait to make his debut on December 17th. Ballack from the out of bounds hits the 3.
That's such a hard shot.
Diallo will take a try. Pipkins gets the miss. Another offensive rebound for Providence.
Good decision. Pump the brakes a little bit. Run some offense.
Just about a 7-second difference.
This is a chess match here. It looked like Providence was man-to-man. Now they fall back to a 2-3 zone.
Ballack just and that's more than a capable shot that he can make. That's the ridiculous part of that.
That is well within his range. Second he steps foot in the arena, he's within range.
You said the last one he made was a tough shot. What about it makes it tough?
Well, all your weight is going away from the basket, and to be able to have the balance to get square and to have touch, it's just really, really difficult.
.5 seconds left to play here before the half. Want to remind you that tomorrow a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers against Jimmy G and the 49ers. The NFC Championship presented by Intuit TurboTax kicks off tomorrow at 6 Eastern on the Fox and the Fox Sports app. Great stories here for all 4 teams really competing tomorrow. I asked if you're a Kansas City fan. You said no.
Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm a Big East basketball fan, Lisa.
I gotcha.
Okay, I am a hoops head.
Thought everyone in this area was a Chiefs fan.
Well, this is where both these coaches know each other so well. And imagine Greg McDermott's going to drop something new because Ed Cooley knows all the tricks in Greg McDermott's book.
Well, the tricks that got to hustle a little bit, too, on the game clock. They get it out to Jefferson for 3. Not exactly the player I thought would take the last shot for Creighton.
A little pick and pop. Got a decent look. Just didn't get it to go down.
Halftime score, 41-37. Coming up next, the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. Rob Stone, Jim Jackson, Casey Jacobson. After these messages. Just moments ago, Tyshawn Alexander, who was out with about 4 minutes to play in the first half, is what he was doing, warming up and looking awfully pretty good. And that is a good sign here for Creighton. Nick Bali-Sabinton with you, and we've been given the notice that he's probably good to go here for the second half.
Yeah, and again, he saw him running around, moving around. If it was anything structural, obviously he would be back in the locker room. So that's good to see, because certainly he's an important facet to what Creighton wants to do both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, it's a first half that it started really well here for Providence. They had the lead for a considerable part of the first 10 minutes. How'd they get it done?
Yeah, I thought Providence came in and established the complexion of the game in the glass, and that kind of opened up things from the perimeter as you saw Pipkins get a tough triple to go down. But Creighton just continued to kind of fight and chip away at this thing. Tyshawn Alexander knocking down to three. There are a couple of mental errors from Providence guarding Creighton on the three-point line. And this was the play that Alexander banged knees with Alpha Diallo. Was really in pain, went back to the locker room, did not return. But he is back on the floor now, so we'll certainly keep an eye on what Alexander's looking like.
Your first half stats, your eyes immediately go to the free throw situation. You talked about that towards the tail end. That 12 of 13 has kept this lead here for Creighton. But you'd like to see, you don't see it there, but the points in the paint, only 10 points for Providence. You feel like that's got to go up a little bit.
I think the points in the paint have to be in Providence's favor if they want to win this basketball game. But half of Providence's field goal attempts were threes. I think that might be a little too many.
Alexander, you see him, he's starting. Zegarowski actually starting as well here for Creighton. So the everyday starting lineup is back now for the Blue Jays. Zegarowski didn't start this game, out with an illness that happened sometime between shoot-around and the tip of this game. But here is their point guard. Zegarowski now with the mismatch. Alexander, his first touch since 4:27 when he left in the first half. Jefferson taking the baseline take. Creighton's largest lead.
If you're Providence, you got to play off of Jefferson. Jefferson only shooting about 17% from three. You don't need to crowd him on the three-point line. That's what Jefferson wants to do. He wants to drive to the basket.
Guy who will put up about 8 points per game here for Creighton this year. Here's Diallo. Had a quiet first half and an offensive foul for Diallo. He's got 2 now. So 5 players for Providence with a couple of fouls.
Diallo not in a very good rhythm here this afternoon. Only 1 for 8 from the floor. They're trying to make something happen. Driving to the basket. And good play from Ballack, setting his feet and taking a charge.
And I'm always curious how head coaches handle a player with a couple of fouls. We see Ed Cooley with the yank here for Diallo. Mentioned that he had kind of a quiet first half. Just 4 points, 1 of 8 shooting. The leading scorer, leading rebounder. He'll be on the bench, at least for now, for the Friars. Tipped for Pipkins. Creighton keeps it. Now 9 to shoot. Alexander's got some height on Pipkins and will challenge him off the glass.
It's a good gliding finish that allows Pipkins to kind of slide past him to be able to finish at the rim from Alexander. His knee looks good. There have been a couple of drives where the explosion has been there.
You feel like that's something that is a confidence builder for a guy trying to get some confidence back after going out, as I mentioned, 4:27 left in the first half. Camp tried it. Watson will get it.
Look at that. 2 Blue Jays on the ground, and Providence gets the rebound and puts it back. That's what Providence needs this game to look like.
Well, Greg McDermott was pointing towards Ballack's way. See if the set. Running for Ballack. Backdoor look. Open for Alexander, but grimacing a little bit after that layup.
The heck of a set play from Greg McDermott. Understanding that Providence trying to deny the wing entry to Tyshawn Alexander, a little backdoor.
Duke got Jefferson up in the air. Soft touch hitting every single part of the rim for 2.
And Duke has to continue to be aggressive.
Watson, or Gant tapped that away. On the push, here's Duke. Finger roll finish and a couple of points for David Duke.
And with Alpha Diallo out of sync a little bit and on the bench with foul trouble, I think Duke has to be the guy that really is aggressive from the perimeter.
It's a guy who's had to shoulder maybe a shooting guard responsibilities this year versus point guard responsibilities.
Which can be hard. I mean, it's a different mindset, different set of responsibilities.
Zegarowski can't get it. He had 1 3-point make in the first half. Now 1 of 2 for the game.
See if Providence can get Watson a touch in the post. Trying to get this high-low look here.
Pipkins off the mark. Zegarowski trying to push with pace. Gets his own miss. Watson there with a swat. Duke's got the last 4 points here for Providence. That time he feeds Watson. Coming over with the swat is Alexander. He finds Jefferson for the easy 2.
And all of a sudden, Creighton starting to operate with comfort offensively. Even though Zegarowski missed a layup on the previous possession, it was open, the open floor in transition, and there, a little fast break, 3-on-2 layup.
Well, they're starting the second half with Zegarowski in the lineup. You got to wonder how much that affected maybe the rotation, the flow to start this game with him coming off the bench.
I don't think there's any question about it. As Creighton's now got their top 5 guys on the floor, and you wondered about the knee. The knee looking pretty good for Tyson Alexander. The drive to the basket and the set back door and finish.
Big East Hoops on FS1 is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Has this always been a part of the talent skills of Billy Blue Jay?
Billy Blue Jay. Supremely athletic this season, apparently.
Providence coming into that timeout. You see Alpha Diallo still will be sitting out. He's picked up a couple. And as I mentioned, there are about 5 players here for Providence with 2 fouls here so far. Remember, only 8 scholarship players available. A.J. Reeves did not make the trip. And so you got to kind of manage that somehow here in the second half.
And again, Providence plays a style in which there's going to be contact. I mean, they're a physical team. They're going to lean on you. They're going to push you. They're going to post up. They're going to crash the glass. So they're going to put themselves potentially in a situation where you can pick up a foul. So managing that to still play with aggression is going to be interesting to see Ed Cooley navigate it.
And Watson, who's got 2 fouls, will get subbed out with Khalif Young, who has 2 fouls. Young known for his defensive presence. And again, Providence playing without Diallo still. White in the game, Pipkins in the game, Duke stays in the game on the perimeter. 10 seconds, that's a quick hands from Canton. We've seen him do that a couple of times. That time it was Bishop coming over who gets whistled for the foul. That's his second.
Good job by Pipkins to go snatch that ball and rip it down. And as the ball goes up, watch as Pipkins going to get it, almost hurt Christian Bishop, but that's how you got to go after the ball as a little guy in the lane.
Kind of got his hand caught there.
Yeah, he did.
Bad luck there for Bishop. Can't thought about it.
Yeah, Bishop's working hard, trying to 3-quarter front in the post, make post-ups difficult to find.
Into the corner, 5 on the shot clock as Pipkins takes the runner.
Just haven't been able to get a lot of conventional post-ups. Providence hasn't.
And they've shot 18 threes here so far. Zegarowski was looking for Bishop. Providence read it. Here's Duke. On the transition, gets the contact, and offensive foul call.
Offensive foul on Providence is number 3.
Duke twice in transition has really gone to attack the rim, and this time Tyson Alexander gets his feet set, takes the charge.
Zegarowski to Balak. Trying to float it up. That has not worked for Creighton today.
There's 2 straight great defensive plays from Young.
Pull up for 3 for White.
Yeah, Creighton's dangerous.
Haven't gotten a whole lot of transition looks. And again, another turnover. It's Providence this time out and running. White threw it up. And the foul committed on Gant. That's his third.
Foul number 1, Greg Gant, his third personal.
Luke White did everything right except finish it. He cut off Bishop at the rim, gave himself room to go up with the left hand, just didn't get it to go down.
For Providence, he's in for Greg Gant.
But Young has made 2 really, really good plays defensively. He's been able to hedge the ball screener, or hedge the ball handler, and then recover to the lob man, Christian Bishop. It's hard to do both, Lisa.
Yeah, he's kind of their defensive specialist. I mentioned that as he was checking in. You know what you're going to get with Young in there. Meanwhile, Creighton trying to take care of the basketball. 4 turnovers in the last 2 minutes and counting. Ballack with the finger roll, no. Bishop getting bodied up there by Young. Mahoney can't get that one.
You can watch the wrestling for post position with Young and Bishop, trying to get something in the paint.
Pipkins left all alone. That one pops out. Young paddling for the offensive rebound, and Bishop got him. So that's number 3 on Bishop.
And that's a little bit what Creighton will be willing to give up. They're trying to send extra help defenders in the paint to help Bishop give up some open threes. I think that's why you see the three-point attempt as high as it is for Providence, 23-point attempts. Certainly rather have the Friars out there than in the lane.
It'll be Kelvin Jones who subs out Bishop, the grad transfer out of Idaho State. Duke has had the hot hand in the second half for Providence, and a foul there on the floor. It'll be the second on Jones, who had just checked in.
And if you're Jones, you're a guy that, you're not playing 25, 30 minutes a game. You got some fouls to work with in spurts to play with some physicality. So he's got to go in there and lean on Young and Holt and Watson.
2 fouls in 4 minutes, by the way, for Jones, and Pipkins makes them pay. 1-point edge now for Creighton.
Pipkins can get hot in a hurry. He's been cold lately, but he's a guy that can have a big half score in the ball. Really was instrumental in Providence's road win at DePaul.
You could argue that was really kind of the last time offensively that he's really had a presence for Providence. Speaking of a presence inside the lane, it's Mahoney.
Well, that's a presence that Creighton hasn't had in their offense. Someone that can post up, back a smaller guard down, exploiting a mismatch and laying it in.
Stands at 6'5", 225. Ballack on Duke. The double team coming with Mahoney. Diallo has checked back in for Providence. Duke with the follow. They are beyond their average here today. They get about 13 offensive rebounds, and Providence already at 15.
Well, Providence trying to fight back a little bit here, doing it in a variety of ways. Luwan Pipkins with some space, rains a triple, and then for the Friars to win this thing, there's got to be plenty of second chance opportunities. And look at the tip back from Dave.
Providence has cut the lead to 1, and there's some defensive concerns with Greg McDermott.
We're not doing our job on that end. And we're not putting bodies on people. You can't leave Pipkins to help. That's their shooter, right? We've got to be intelligent with our defensive approach, right? It's just not good enough down there. They've scored whatever, in way too short a time. We got to fight down there.
Our Jeep Grand Cherokee stat comparison, comparing really what he was talking about there in the huddle, especially the second chance points.
This is the biggest stat of the game. The rebounding column is really going to tell the tale, and Providence starting to kind of sink their teeth into the Blue Jays, getting those second chance opportunities. And heck of a response from Providence. Almost felt like Creighton was taking control of this game, but the Friars have fought back.
Trailed by as many as 8. In fact, that's the largest lead for both of these teams here tonight. Final game of the Big East here in the Saturday afternoon. A lot going on, and a walking violation there by Mitchell. Creighton has had trouble taking care of the basketball to start the second half.
It was something Greg McDermott was worried about. He's taking care of the ball. 12 turnovers now for the Blue Jays. The thing you got to tip your cap to with Ed Cooley is, what did he tell us, Lisa? He said he wanted to see the three-point attempts not be very high for Creighton. Creighton only 11 three-point attempts here this afternoon.
When they average about 25 for a game, that's a tough angle for Diallo to convert.
Hey, that'll get Diallo going. His second made field goal of the afternoon. Little isolation drive for him.
Providence has its first lead since about 7 minutes to play in the first half. Mahoney. And one and done for Creighton. Pipkins, runner, missing everything.
Creighton's got to push it a little bit.
Balak, someone forgot about the easiest two he'll get.
Well, Pipkins, I have no idea what he was doing. He was running back and was looking at the Providence bench. It didn't stop the basketball, and Balak's able to get right into the heart of the lane and get an easy one.
Pipkins looks like he's hurt a little bit, kind of limping off. He was holding his left leg after that play.
Not sure what happened there. Again, that's too easy of a shot for Balak. Just drive into the middle of the lane and get an easy 10-footer.
Well, White has subbed out Pipkins now.
Small lineup for the Jays on the floor. So Providence can really sink their teeth in the offensive glass.
Here's Duke. Short, and another offensive rebound. Count the bucket. And one for Alpha Diallo.
This is what Providence can do, as Diallo has inside position on the pick and roll. Easy one. And all of a sudden, just like that, Diallo, who was really out of rhythm, has gotten a couple of layups to go down and feeling okay about himself.
He struggled at the free throw line and misses that one. Diallo just a 56% free throw shooter this year. 5 ties, 8 different lead changes. Providence at 4-1, sitting in second place in the Big East. Creighton at the start of this week, ranked in the top 25 for the first time in a couple of years. Foul there on the floor. That'll be against Young. That's his third. Khalif Young in foul trouble, but he is our academic ambition, sponsored by SoFi. Get your money right, all in one app. So that's what we like to do here at Fox. We like to spin a negative into a positive.
I like it. Well, one thing that's hard, you see on one end the issues with playing small. Creighton gives up an offensive rebound, but it's advantageous on this end because you can spread the defense out and drive it.
Zegarowski coming up empty-handed.
So just look how spread everyone is on the floor. Creighton playing 5 wide, pretty much. 5 guys on the perimeter. Puts a lot of stress on a guy like Young.
And right now is defending Jefferson. Balak with a deep look. And Young coming over and ripping it away. Young, when he picked up his third, remember it's Gant and Young who are playing now with 3 fouls. Both of them on the court for Providence.
We'll see if Providence wants to try to go inside here.
Mahoney trying to body up Young, and their 2 posts are setting screens out by the 3-point line. Here's Duke for 3. What a big shot. David Duke now has scored more points in a conference game tonight than he ever has in his career.
Yeah, Duke has been a stud.
And just one off of a career high. He's got 21 and wrapping him up in the corner. And that will get Ed Cooley fired up.
Foul number 4, Sharif Mitchell, is his third.
Well, how about these Friars, and how about David Duke? Really shooting it at an efficient clip and playing with a lot of confidence. Stepping in, drilling it, 21 points, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc for David Duke.
And isn't this what Providence will do to you? They'll grind you. They'll slowly take the air out of the building, which they have here. One of the toughest places to win. Put almost 17,000 in this building.
And you go into a game and you have your 3 or 4 things that you really want to establish from a game plan standpoint. And for the most part, Providence has won that battle.
Zegarowski trying to post up White. And White's going to get called for the body.
Providence foul number 4, Malik White. That's his third person.
Providence looking to take one on the road. Sitting in second place in the Big East. The scales have been tipped toward the Providence Friars' way as we listen in to Ed Cooley's huddle.
Keep defending, keep sharing the ball. Keep defending, keep sharing the ball. Keep defending, keep sharing the ball.
Use the ball.
Use it. Double fist. The next time we call it, refuse it.
Pretty simple. Keep defending, keep sharing the ball. You have to have digestible messages in timeouts that your players can apply in the moment. And sometimes they're really simple because you know what? Sometimes it's a simple game. Good stuff from Coach Cooley.
David Duke, 21 points. One off of his career high, tying his career high, which he got earlier this season against the College of Charleston. Ed Cooley is real big, as a lot of coaches are, about 4-minute increments and 2 more 4-minute increments to try to close this one out on the road. Zegarowski gets it right back from the out of bounds, and Bishop with the put back. Oh, what a move, Bishop, and one.
Well, this is a big play, not just because it's points, but Creighton was flat and a little bit against the ropes. They needed some sort of play to kind of jolt some energy into him. It's a good hustle play from Christian Bishop with a second chance 3-point play opportunity.
Can't convert. So a 2-point advantage here for Providence.
So Bishop back on the floor should make rebounding a little bit easier, but still a challenge whenever you're taking on Providence.
He's playing with 3 fouls for Creighton. They swing it over to White. Somehow from the hands of Diallo into the hands of Bishop. Providence gets it right back. Young.
That's Providence and how they want this game to look. Just a bloodbath around the rim. Just look at all the bodies flying and the ball getting tipped up. And this is a man's game. It's a heck of an effort from Alpha Diallo.
It's the second on Jefferson. Young's first free throw is good. Can't make the second.
Well, I don't think there's any question. Zegarowski didn't start this game because he was sick. And you can tell he just hasn't had the same pop to him. And the Blue Jays' leading scorer, leading assist man, needs to find some energy to give this team.
Out to Ballack. Now 6 to shoot. Zegarowski being defended by Diallo. Ballack will shoot and fire. Big shot for Creighton.
You sit there and you defend and you defend. Fall asleep for a second and Ballack drills one.
Ties it at 58. The first 3-point make for Creighton in the second half. Gant for 2. And a foul on the shot. That's 4 on Bishop.
That's important. It's hard to play small ball with Jefferson and Mahoney, but it's looking like that's what Creighton's going to have to do for a couple of minutes here as Bishop's going to check out.
Mahoney for Christian Bishop. To the free throw line for Providence, number 13, Khalif Young.
With as many players on the Providence side who started this second half with 2 fouls, thought we'd be talking more about Providence being in foul trouble with players picking up 4, but the first to 4s is Creighton.
I think Coach Cooley's done a good job in the second half of managing that, getting guys off the floor when they've been in foul trouble, keeping that bench fresh.
Energy's back in this building. 1-point edge here for the Friars.
Can't step off Ballack.
Alexander got Duke up in the air. Count it. Body bucket and one. Tyshawn Alexander.
Oh, what a great play from Tyshawn Alexander to be under control. Look at the 2-foot jump stop. Little shot fake. Got Duke up just enough for the foul to occur. Taking a look at it. Little shot fake. Duke's going to leave his feet just a little bit. Great job from an experienced veteran player, Tyshawn Alexander.
2-point edge. Duke trying to get the answer. He's got a new career high.
Wow.
23 for David Duke. Alexander up against Kent. Like that matchup. Went right past him.
Because Creighton has shooters on the floor, you stretch Young away from the rim so there's no rim protection, and Alexander converts.
So what can Duke do with it? Going for the lead. The 3 falls down. That's supposed to be the away team.
Goodness gracious.
The home court roll.
David Duke. Showing you everything in these ball screen situations, Lisa. The first one he refused, went baseline and drove there. Mistake, go under a ball screen. And when you're hot, you get the roll. Boy, do we got a good finish brewing here in Omaha.
We've got a good one to close out the day in the Big East. Providence with a 1-point edge over Creighton. Nick Bod, Lisa Byington with you. David Duke working on a career-high day. He's got 26.
He's done just about everything offensively for Providence. Score from beyond the arc. He's shooting the ball at a much more efficient clip from three-point land this season for Ed Cooley. Shooting it with confidence. And then when you got shot credibility, that opens up that shot fake mid-range jumper. David Duke has been outstanding. And again, when you're hot, you get the roll, even on the road.
You would take that. Don't forget, he was 0 for 5 from 3 in the last game against St. John's. One of the few times this year he's only scored in single digits. Only had 7 points in that game. Much different story here tonight.
And don't forget, this is a highly touted kid. It's a top 50 recruit. Again, big body. 6'5", strong, confidence growing. And by the vibe in the arena and the play on the floor, you'd think there's 30 seconds left and not 5 minutes. That's how intense this game feels right now.
Crowd's back into it, under 5 to play. See the 10 lead changes, 7 different ties. Young almost ripped it away from Zegarowski. Mahoney drawing the contact there on Young, and that will be number 4 on Young, the first Providence player to get to 4.
Providence is number 13, Khalif Young. That's his
That's
fourth personal
how
foul.
Creighton can put stress on you with the small lineup. Young had to hedge a ball screen and then recover back and fight dribble drive with Mahoney. When you got guards all over the floor and you're the lone big guy, it can be tough on this end of the floor, and that's why you have to make it count on the other end, getting offensive rebounds and post-ups.
Mahoney now in double figures. Started the game for Zegarowski, came off the bench to start the second half. Two important free throws here for Creighton as that continues to be a big story. Not as many in the second half as they had in the first half.
Well, just watch the war that ensues when this shot goes up around the rim. Providence has got that mindset that every offensive rebound is going to be theirs.
Alexander defending Duke. He'll stay with them. They won't switch off. Diallo this time in the corner. Out to White, to Pipkins, to Duke. He tries to dial it up again. Mr. Big Shot tonight.
What did Ed Cooley say in the huddle? Share the ball, share the ball. What great ball movement from the Friars.
And Young is done. That is number 5.
This is 5th personal foul. The team's now.
And that's what Mahoney can do. I mean, he's right now playing the 5 spot. Can put the ball on the deck. It's just a tough matchup for Young.
They get Young out 6'9", 250. Went to Mahoney the last couple of times.
Isn't this cool, though? You're seeing two teams built totally different right now. Creighton playing small ball, and it's working for them offensively, be able to stretch the Providence bigs away from the basket and drive it at them. But on the other end, Providence is flexing their muscles in the paint. Even that three-point opportunity for Duke, Lisa, is made because Creighton has to collapse on a post drive from Diallo. You know, it's just a battle of will stylistically right now.
It'll be Gant who subs in for Young. Watson's been on the bench for a little while for Providence.
And so with Gant coming in at the 5, that's a sign that Ed Cooley's sizing down a little bit. Because could have come back with Watson or another one of the pure centers. But so now Gant, I think, is really important defensively, being able to slide his feet laterally.
Played 29 minutes in the last game. His playing time has gone up. The confidence in him from Ed Cooley has gone up. Duke working on possibly his first career 30-point game. They leave Duke alone. Why would they leave Duke alone? A 30-point game for David Duke.
Well, you ask why would they leave him alone? That's a mental mistake. You get a little double pen-in screen, and Creighton velcros the screen, and hottest guy in the gym drills it.
32 tonight. He didn't score a point last year on this floor in 19 minutes. What a difference a year makes. Alexander with the take. Duke with a rip. He scored the last 11 points for Providence.
Well, if you're Zegarowski guarding David Duke in the right corner, no help responsibilities. You got to stay attached to him.
And those are New England high school guys who know each other well. Zegarowski and Duke, both playing in the same area, both in the class of 2018. And Zegarowski now shadowing him. Duke didn't get anything. Fade away for Gant. Mahoney again, trying to draw the foul again, and he does. He's drawn about 4 fouls on Providence. He'll go back to the free throw line.
Well, how about David Duke, though? Hottest guy in the gym, letting it fly from beyond the arc. Creighton makes a mental mistake. Duke makes him pay. Don't go anywhere. Got an outstanding Big East finish coming between Providence and Creighton.
Brian, thank you. Flashing back with Providence on the road at Creighton. Kyron Cartwright hits a three-pointer from the right wing. 2.2 seconds left to upset the 23rd-ranked Blue Jays. That is Providence's last win on the road against a ranked team. They have lost 7 straight. against ranked opponents and looking to do it here tonight. Nick Baugh, Lisa Byington with you. An update here on the Big East standings. Seton Hall, for the first time in program history, improving to 6-0 in conference play, picking up a win. This win is big for Providence because they play Seton Hall next, and that could be for first place in midweek.
Pretty amazing considering where this Providence team was in mid-December. Quite the job by Ed Cooley to push the right buttons, get these guys in the right frame of mind. But this has been quite an afternoon, especially from David Duke.
Huge miss. You mentioned Duke. He's the first opponent against Creighton to put up 30+ since Marcus Howard did it. Remember, he had 53 last January. Duke's got 32 here tonight.
Well, Nate Watson is back on the floor. Denzel Mahoney's guarding him. David Duke's been the hot hand, but keep an eye on Watson posting up and crashing the glass.
And Watson's cold. He's been sitting out for a while for Providence. They give it to Duke. Trying to back down Alexander, doing it in every single way possible. He's got 34.
What good patience. And it's hard to come with a double team because then you leave yourself vacant for rebounds. Great set call from Ed Cooley.
Ballack for three. Or was that a pass? It looked like almost a pass to Mahoney. Tough to tell. Jefferson battling for it. He'll go to the free throw line.
At least it was a pass. That's a set play against a zone for a lob. And Providence sniffed it out.
Damian Jefferson to the free throw line, shooting 2 for the Blue Jays.
But David Duke, this is just a set play to get Duke that whole side of the floor and let him go to work. And Tyshawn Alexander did a pretty good job trying to influence Duke towards the help. But again, the help is reluctant because you don't want to leave your man because you know you got a rebound. But not a whole lot you can do. Good offense beats good defense every day of the week, and Duke is showing you why.
Do you switch off Zegarowski with Alexander?
I'd keep Alexander on him. Alexander's been the defensive stopper. But ultimately, someone's got to step up and make a play. I do wonder now if you think about if the ball goes back to Duke, if you run two at him. You know, make someone else other than David Duke make a shot. But again, that's where Providence is difficult because it opens up rebounding opportunities.
Creighton's got its last 6 points at the free throw line. They trail by 3. Alexander still defending Duke. He goes baseline. The foul's called. The shot after the foul's committed and against Alexander.
And I like that. I think Duke driving caught Alexander a little off guard because Alexander anticipated Providence to run some shot clock, but instead Duke just rips and goes.
And then that's the 4th on Alexander. Do you still keep him on him, even with 4 fouls?
Yeah, I think now you got to talk about running 2 at him.
They got it right back. Duke. That's the way the last few minutes have been going for Providence.
Every 50-50 loose ball rebound has gone the Friars' way.
And Duke has scored the last 13 points.
David Duke shooting 2 for the Friars.
What a huge offensive rebound given up from the Blue Jays. You got inside position on a free throw.
Talk about the 4-minute increments for Providence that Ed Cooley has emphasized, trying to close this out. They have played in 6 games decided by 5 or fewer points and only lost 1 of those 6 this year.
Defense from Malik White.
Alexander for 3. Boy, didn't we need that. And some field goal trap.
And so, Lisa, it does look like Denzel Mahoney's guarding David Duke. She got a bigger body on him.
Alexander has the 4 personals. Mahoney. Watson, a handoff to White. Working it around for Pipkins. For the shoot, Diallo, the senior, trying to deliver. Creighton with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Providence back man-to-man now.
Alexander slip, fail, doesn't matter. We're tied at 74. Ed Cooley calling one of his 2 timeouts left.
We have 4 timeout for the Flyers.
Well, how about Tyshawn Alexander with the Blue Jays? Big time on the ropes. A tough contested triple with a possession. Didn't look like it was going anywhere. And then Tyshawn Alexander's done a good job being under control at the end of his drives, being able to have different creative ways to score. 5 straight points for Mr. Alexander. Give him 23 for the game, and we're tied.
And you got to figure the timeout called by Ed Cooley. He's got to draw something up with a hot hand, David Duke, but they had trouble in that last possession getting an open look for him.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Cooley, I'm going right back to the same look of getting David Duke the ball on a side and just letting him go. Last time it was at the right elbow, and he got the little left-hand jump hook to go. But ultimately, it's been David Duke's afternoon. He's got 36 points. You got to ride with the guy that's got you here. I realize that Diallo's your leader, but he's 3 of 13.
Providence knows all about close games. I mentioned they've only lost 1 time in 6 tries by games decided by 5 points or fewer. It was an area that they struggled in last year, and it is an area where one of the reasons why they've been on a little bit of a win skid here.
And one thing that's important is the ability to guard the basketball one-on-one so you don't have to bring help and open up rebounding for the Blue Jays. And if you're Providence, when this shot goes up, you've owned the glass. You have to go attack, because oftentimes it's the second shot that'll beat you.
A 1-point win against DePaul that was at DePaul. An overtime 1-point win against Marquette.
Denzel Mahoney guarding David Duke on the right wing.
Here is Duke. Mahoney's defending him. Duke loses it. Wraps up. Jump ball. It'll be Creighton basketball. Mahoney, a defensive stop.
Wow. What individual defense from Denzel Mahoney. Sliding his feet. A little bit of contact. Loses the ball. And Mahoney snatches it. Beautiful from Denzel Mahoney.
And all of those of you waiting for PVC boxing, it's starting right now on FS2. We'll get you out there once this one is complete.
And you just got to get the ball to Tyshawn Alexander and get out of the way. Diallo's going to try to deny the rock.
Zegarowski will take it. Playing with a chip. He said Providence didn't recruit him, so this meant a little bit more. And that shot meant a little bit more.
Wow, Lisa. Look at this. Trying to get Alexander the ball. Instead, Alexander rises up and drills it. Unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, this game has all kinds of twists and turns. You feel like one team has it wrapped up and another team has an answer tonight.
This will be interesting now to see if Creighton wants to foul up 3.2 seconds. There's usually a dribble per second is the rule, Lisa. As Greg McDermott's now going to call a timeout after seeing what Ed Cooley was lined up with. But this is always the question. Do you foul up 3? And what's hard about that is a lot of that is incumbent upon you maybe getting a rebound on a free throw. And Providence has dominated the glass.
3 seconds to wrap up this one, and a reminder that coming up, a Big Ten doubleheader tipping off Thursday. Minnesota battling Ohio State. Michigan State facing Indiana. Catch all the action starting at 6 Eastern on FS1. and the Fox Sports app. I'm going to go back to what you were saying about Greg McDermott. You know some of his tendencies. Is he one, as we look at the Zegarowski three, to put him up by 3? Is he one to have a tendency to foul in this
Usually
kind of
not. Usually not, to be honest with you. But these situations can call for it. I think the fact that you have an intelligent team that you can talk to them here in your 2 timeouts to coach them through it. But again, the general rule of thought is you get a dribble per second. So with 3 seconds, you're going to be able to put the ball in the deck 2-3 times and get a ways down the floor. But if I'm Creighton, I'm fouling and not allowing Providence to get a shot up. No one on the basketball.
Providence all out of timeouts. They've got 4 shooters on the floor, minus Watson. Diallo's trying to call for it. Thrown away. Alexander gets hacked.
Providence foul number 11, Alpha Diallo, is his 3rd personal foul.
And that's the 3rd personal on Diallo, who was trying to get open on that out of bounds, and he was the only option here in the near court.
Yeah, trying to front Diallo, so they tried to kind of throw over the top and maybe even get Watson coming back on a little pass to half court, but well defended, well scouted, and Creighton gets the steal. And so we'll see if Alexander is good enough to be able to shoot this free throw, as he got smacked pretty good in the eye. You can see there's definitely red.
Well, when he has 20/20 vision, he's an 86% free throw shooter. 2nd in the Big East. A season high 23 for him as he misses the first. The door's still open here for Providence.
And Greg McDermott sends his Blue Jays back. Don't want to get any foul or anything here. Set your defense.
Four-point advantage, 2-possession game. Duke lets it fire. They look like they were down and out at one point. They survived a career high by David Duke, who had 36, and a big win at home for Greg McDermott and the Blue Jays.
Unbelievable finish to this game. Tyshawn Alexander stepped up, delivered some tough baskets. And then Zegarowski delivers the dagger. But it started with Tyshawn Alexander, Lisa, with a tough 3 here late in a possession. And then a drive to the basket, got him 2 points, and then Zegarowski with the dribble-in game winner. What a finish here in Omaha.
Isn't it fitting that Creighton does it with the 3? That's the final. We'll get you out to boxing now.